INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
Hallo alle zusammen, guten Morgen, guten Tag und guten Abend an alle unsere lieben Zuhörer und Zuschauer heute Abend. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers and listeners tonight, and welcome back to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. I am your host, Alicia Bartolome, tuning in live from Heidelberg, Germany. We have so many great things planned for all of our viewers and listeners tonight. But before I give anything away, I am not alone tonight. For me, I have someone a little bit an hour away from me. I forgot already. Who is it again?
Is the man in the blue shirt. My name is Henry Inocencio, coming all the way from Kaiserslautern, Germany, about an hour away from Heidelberg, but still in Central Europe, and always happy to be here and to see everyone in INC Central Europe, our district. Always, our comment section is always lively. Everyone's already greeting each other. Happy to see you all here at 8:02 p.m. in Central European Standard Time and 2 o'clock in the morning or 2:02 a.m. in Philippine time. So once again, good evening to everyone here. And I would like to introduce our guest who is wearing the famous mustard yellow jacket from our previous show we had when we were talking about fashion. We have brought her back here again in our topic conversation for today. Let's all say hello and please introduce yourself, Chanel.
Hi everyone, I'm Chanel Manalili, and as Henry has mentioned, yes, I am wearing the mustard yellow jacket that we discussed in our last spring fashion show. So thank you everyone, and
So I'm glad you wore that jacket because we do remember these conversations that we have. When it comes to fashion, fashion might be a hobby. A keyword is hobby, which we will talk about today. Hobbies are something that we try to discover ourselves in, find things or things that we try to find that we enjoy. But we'll go deeper into that. Before we even start that, Alicia, what are we going to do first?
We actually all know each other, but we always love to do an icebreaker just to break the ice. The ice has been broken a little bit a while ago, but we do still love playing games, don't we, right? So if you can show us our icebreaker for tonight, which is the Zoom In Challenge, Hobbies Edition, so perfect with our topic. So those of you who do not know to play, this is how to play. We have 4 different images, if I'm not mistaken, displaying different objects, and we have to guess what those are. They'll be very zoomed in. Some might be hard to guess, but we have to guess, and they all have to do something with hobbies. So, Kriatek, can we have the first slide, please? Okay, so this is our first one. I already have an idea. Well, I'll let Henry and Chanel have a go first. What do you guys think?
So because she has the mustard yellow jacket, I'll let her go first.
that's a good one. Since it's relating to hobbies, I want to say maybe file organization. That could be a hobby.
Then I'm not good at that hobby. That's what it is. It looks like a book really zoomed in, but maybe like really thick pages. But if it is filing, and if your hobby is filing, I salute you for your organization. But I'll probably go with that. I'll go with filing. That's my final answer.
Okay, so shout out to all our secretaries. I think most of us, some of us don't enjoy filing, but I myself, I do enjoy filing, so that might be a boring thing of me. But Kuyata, can you tell us, is it a book? Is it filing? What is it, Kuyata? It is reading or books. So Close enough filing. I think we were thinking too too deep, but it was. I would have gone with filing too. Honestly, I do enjoy filing as well. So good one for you, Chanel. Kuyata, can we have the next one, please? So this one, I honestly can't tell. I'll let you guys have it. I'll let you guys have a go first.
So because I have children and I've seen messy tables, I already see a messy table that, the parental instinct is coming out, and I just want to say, girls, clean that up. So I think that's just painting. What do you think, Chanel?
I also agree. I think it's painting as well. It looks very much like painting.
Okay, painting. Okay, I think I'll go with that too. Since we're all unison. Kuyata, can we have the answer, please? Yes, it's painting or arts. Great job. We got it. Next one, Kuyata. Okay. Oh, okay. This one's a little blurry too, or that's just my eyes. I think that's a ball. No, I'm lost. Henry Chanel.
So I saw the green stem, which makes me believe that's either a tomato or a cherry. And in the back is an egg. That's flour. Sitting on a bed of flour. What do you think, Chanel?
I was going to say the exact same thing, but because I want to spice it up, let's say it's drawing of some sort.
Okay,
That's great
drawing.
drawing to draw that egg and tomato. That's really great. But let's find out.
Wait, tech. Perfect. Oh, you thought too out of the box, Chanel. So Henry was a little closer with the tomato and flour. So it's cooking or baking. But that was if that would have been drawn, that was very creative. I don't think I can draw that that well. Kuyate, can we have the last image, please? Okay, so the lighting is a very exposed, so it has a lot of green. I'm gonna go say something to do with plants. How about you guys?
I'll let Chanel go first, just so she doesn't copy my answer.
I was going to say gardening or planting.
Yeah, that looks like my backyard. When I used to live in Hawaii, we tried farming and planting. It just didn't work out. But yeah, that's what I would hope to see if I were to garden and plant lettuce.
Okay, Kuyate, can we have the answer, please? It is gardening. See, I think Henry copied Chanel this time. But it was gardening. Great job. So I think we got all of them. We had a little bit of few mixed answers, but that's okay. The ice has been broken, and we can get into our topic conversation, which is hobbies that uplift us. So I would like to ask Chanel first. What is one of your hobbies or activities that you enjoy doing in your free time?
Well, Alicia, I have so many hobbies, but I think one of the main ones that I've been doing lately are scrapbooking, journaling, and learning new languages.
So, in particular, what languages have you learned, Chanel?
So I've been self-studying Japanese, Korean. I think Korean is my strongest at this point, and currently right now German as well. But it's very ein bisschen. So
I don't know what that means, but I guess that you're on the right path. That's probably what you meant in German. So I learned from you just now. So let's expand on that languages, because when I meet people, whether it be new people at work or just random people, sometimes we meet at the mall. Oh, what do you like to do for fun? I don't usually hear. I like to learn languages. What makes you interested in learning languages? Oh, and how do you like to learn new languages?
I think what really got me started learning languages is because of how easy it came to me. And I didn't realize it until I started learning Korean on my own. And the way I started to decide to learn Korean was because um, growing up, I really loved Korean media, whether it be Korean food, Korean TV shows or dramas, and even the music. And it came to the point where I wanted to teach myself because if for a lot of those back then, watching Korean dramas or TV shows with subtitles, with English subtitles, were so rare, and even then it wasn't good compared to today where it's so easily accessible. Back then you actually had to work for it. So I decided to try and learn myself so that I wouldn't have to work so hard.
And so when you learn a new language, well, for me, I find it difficult. I've been here for almost 3 years, and I've tried to watch a lot of training videos, whether it be while I'm driving or some of my German coworkers will do a little short dialogue, and it really just doesn't sink in for me. But pass or fail, I'm creating a connection. I'm learning. I'm getting closer to someone because they're putting effort to helping me, and I am doing my best effort to get to know them in their language. So there's a great benefit to learning a new language because it takes someone else to do that. Would you agree with that? That as you learn language, you were able to not just benefit for yourself, but benefit in maybe meeting a new friend or getting to know someone better and having the confidence to even meet people you've never met.
I highly agree. I was able to meet and connect with so many different people from different walks of life just because I was able to speak their language. And there have been instances where when you first meet someone, they seem more closed. But the moment you speak their language, you can already see their body language just open up. They start to brighten. They start to feel more open and welcoming because you're speaking their language from the heart. So that's what is my favorite part about learning different languages and being able to speak with people in their native language.
So I noticed some of our viewers in the comments, once we said Korean, some of them are even saying Korean words in our chat. Uh, I don't know how to pronounce this. Maybe you can give the correct pronunciation. 안녕하세요. Is that the right way to say it? From Kenjin Lee.
Yes, that is correct. 안녕하세요, 여러분.
That's one of the favorite things. Whenever someone can speak a new language, they're like, say something, like pressing buttons, say something in your language. It's just very interesting to hear. So, like as you were saying, you learn a new language, you get to someone opens up to you, they open their heart to you, they're excited because they have a chance to connect to you. And so, as we touch upon that, you have to learn the language first to a level of comfortability for yourself. And the time it takes to learn a language, to learn that passionately, it becomes a hobby for you. So, learning language is a great hobby to have because you said Japanese, you said Korean. Now you're here in this country, you have to learn German. So while you're taking on these hobbies, then how do you find the time to do that? Because whether your hobby be photography, your hobby is fixing a car, your hobby is gardening, all of these hobbies take time. But for your hobby, learning a language, how do you find time to balance all of your responsibilities and dedicate some time to picking up a new language?
I think the key word in what you said, Henry, was balance, making sure that you have enough self-control as well, not to go overboard with your hobby, especially when you find a hobby that you really like. You just kind of take a lot of your time out of it. It becomes so effortless when you get excited about a hobby because you get so passionate and you just think about it all the time. At least that's how it was for me. And when I really started getting into learning Korean about the culture, language, and history, it came to a point where my school was at 8 a.m. and I would wake up at 6 a.m. every day just to make sure that I have an hour of watching Korean dramas before I get to school. And in my case, for learning languages, there's so many different resources and outlets that you can use. Like you could listen to a podcast on the way home, or listen to a bunch of music on the way to school. It's just so easy to consume. And when you have a hobby, it doesn't have to be a big undertaking. You don't have to take 3 hours out of the day just to start drawing or painting. It can be as simple as having a little sketchbook or doodling on the side. Or when you're learning a language, you could even play a podcast in the background. Something simple like that.
But the great thing about what you said is that you're incorporating it into your daily routine. You found a way to make it all fit. And even on the way to doing something, you're making you're not really using time because you're going somewhere, and at the same time you're listening to something. So you're making the most of your time. As with one of our comments from Alyssa May Fauni, doing paper crafts. And let me just use this time to say that if you have a baby at home and you really can't move, you know, what else can you do? You're watching your child, so you do paper crafts. So that's a great hobby. And your baby, your toddler is watching you do it, and they're interested. So it's a hobby that not only benefits you to make the most of your time, but your growing child will also be curious, what are you doing? And they get to work on their, if it's fine motor skills, or I don't know the actual terms for it. They get to learn how to use their fingers. Frefe Frang, our sister Frefe, says gardening is uh, good for stress relief. So, you know, gardening is good for not just that, but in 2 to 3 months, you'll have lettuce that you can cook for dinner. This other comment from Kenjin Ligunao, mobile nature photography combined with hiking makes my heart very happy. So with all of that, you're hiking, you're getting exercise, and you're taking great pictures. And then what are you going to do with that pictures? You're going to share it with somebody, and they're going to give you, oh, that's a nice picture. Can I use that as the background for my phone? Can I use the background for my computer? So there's a lot of benefits to those hobbies. So, you know, I'm glad that you were able to find balance with all of that. And let me touch upon what you also said when you talk to people. You know, you're able to uh, get a heart to heart with people. You get to connect with them because if you're speaking in a language that they don't understand, it's difficult to uh, to reflect what you're trying to say to them. But when you speak their language, they can easily connect to you, and there's a smile that lights up on their face. Like, for example, if you go to the supermarket and you order in German, you know, they're instantly happy because, you know, they don't have to try so hard like me. They have to speak English, and you know, it's a difficult conversation. But when you speak, you know, as you're learning German, and as you see others in front of the line, they speak that language, and they're having a conversation. And for you, you know, in your travels overseas, now I'll let you tell that story. Um, you've had some travels overseas, and you were able, in your studies of the Korean language, you're able to use that hobby to connect with other people. So I'll let you explain that story about how you use the Korean language to connect with brethren, or those who are not even brethren, overseas in the country of South Korea.
Of course. Thank you for bringing it up. I don't even know where to start because I'm so excited to talk about that. And for one thing I can say, and I'm truly grateful for, is that fortunately my hobby opened a lot of opportunities. I eventually started taking Korean classes, and from there I was offered a full scholarship to study abroad in South Korea. And from there I was able to meet so many brethren in different locales, and they're still my lifelong friends to this day. And one of the struggles I had, of course, my Korean was limited. However, I was able to meet 할머니, or grandmas, who were so sweet and welcoming. There was an instance where I was sitting on the train, and I saw grandma come up, and I told her to go ahead and sit down. And of course she refused, but eventually she sat down next to me, and she just kept complimenting me and asking me in Korean. And even though my Korean was limited, she was very encouraging. And it was just a beautiful, meaningful moment that I could have with someone I never thought I'd be talking to for a long time. And for the classmates and friends that I've met, it also opened opportunities, or opened the conversation of my faith. Like, for example, for the Korean culture, They see it all the time. Drinking is such a huge culture there. But for me, as a member of the Church of Christ, that is not my life. That is not my culture. So when they see me and I'm not drinking or participating in any of that, they're like, why aren't you doing that? Why aren't you doing this? I was able to learn. I've memorized ways to say, oh, I don't drink because I'm a member of the Church of Christ. And from there, I was able to share my faith with my friends and my classmates. And it was such an exhilarating experience because, one, it's already hard to share your faith in English sometimes. Sometimes you have to have a lot of courage. Now imagine a different language. It was just a huge blessing that I was able to do so. And from there, I built more confidence. I've even introduced my teachers to the church and invited them as well to the many Bible studies and activities that we've had. So having a hobby opens a lot of new opportunities, new doors, and it's all the more uplifting and inspiring for you, for yourself, and for others around you.
Definitely. So, I mean, languages, communication, communication is the way to really connect to other people. It doesn't have to be your friends or family. It can be others who you would like to be your new friends and as close to become your new family. So, the hobbies establish connections. It's all about the connections. So, I'm going to do a little shift to, because our comments, they're talking a lot about baking, a lot about cooking. So, because I know Alicia so well, I'm going to shift towards Alicia because I know she bakes. So let me ask Alicia, your hobby about baking. Why? Why do you like to bake so much? Because a lot of our viewers also like to bake. They also like to cook. Uh, what does baking mean to you?
Well, Henry, that is a good question. Well, mainly I started baking because I could never find I never I love not everyone's baking. It's just sometimes I do not like it too sweet. So if some of the things that people bake for me, if it's a cake or someone brought cookies, which is now my specialty, it's just too sweet for me. So I always like experimenting with ingredients, also try to make it a little bit healthier since a lot of our brethren in our locale have sometimes a diabetes problem or not too sugary problem or here or there. That's why I like to make different recipes and come up and just experiment around. And I just love baking so much because not only does it bring joy to myself when I get to snack on something, but I love bringing joy to those around me, especially since I've gotten to expand kind of my menu also a little bit. I know a lot of the brethren's favorites now, and I know what to bring for their birthdays, and I know what to make, especially I've started making cakes now, especially for one of our sisters here. She had her baby shower, and that was my first time ever making and decorating a cake, and it was a huge success. And I'm really glad. I'm starting to get into cake making and cake decorating. Still expanding my sweetness level on that horizon, but I really love baking. Also, it helps with my stress levels. Sister Freth also mentioned gardening helps with her stress. I myself baking helps with my stress. Sometimes I just need to stand there and just do my thing, measure everything. And some find baking very intimidating because of the measurements and how tedious it can be with you can mess some things up because you added too much flour or you added too much uh leveling agents to make it rise or whatever it is. But it really is a type of experimenting and I love that. A lot of my friends who used to be a lot of what do we call it? Chemists. They enjoy baking too because they also kind of say it's type of kind of experimenting and see what reacts with what and what helps with the sweetness level and so on and so forth. So really just for me, it's all about also just giving love to the ones around me and stress relief for me.
And I know for a fact that your dad loves your baking. So shout out to Kajeri, who who benefits from the baking talents of Alicia. And so there's other comments in here, like they love the ability to create healthy baking. I think there was a comment in here from Sister Irene about baking during the pandemic and how it was used to pass time. So you know, hobbies do take time. hobbies do take resources. Hobbies can or should be used to at the in a way that benefits you without taking you away from your responsibilities. And so it's as long as we are using our hobbies in a way that allow us to restore and give us the ability to return to our priorities. I think hobbies, if used correctly, it's a great thing to have. Hobbies help us to face the world again, as long as it's not done in excess. You don't do it too much. Um, it can even bring you that a certain level of contentment. If you love to learn something, hobbies can serve as two purposes: help you with your career, help you with your academics. Personally, for me, I always say this on the show, I love to play with artificial intelligence. I I put something in there, make me a recipe, because all I have is I have pork, I have garlic, I have onions, and it spits out a recipe for me that I can cook. So those hobbies that I have, the hobbies that I have with technology, it's very uplifting for me, because I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated by the things that I can use with certain tools and technology. So hobbies, we all have our tastes. Um, Again, as long as it's not done with excess. But in the topic of cooking, Chanel, of course, like again, I always say that I know you very well. How have you done with the area of cooking and baking? And is that becoming a new hobby for you that you're enjoying exploring, or what can you say about picking up that hobby?
Well, I do want to say that cooking is actually fun and not as difficult as I thought it would be. I do like, my favorite part about cooking is seeing my husband's expression when I did it right, or it tastes proper. So as long as the food is delicious, I'm happy. I've also tried baking, although I don't think I'm as good as Alicia. I actually want to try all of Alicia's baking, so please send your brownies my way. But it's been fun. I wouldn't say it's my hobby right now because I'm struggling. I'm I don't have much interest, but that's okay because now I know what I like and don't like. But thank you for asking my progress. But I do want to let the audience know, Henry has tried my cooking for the first time. And Rachel as well. And they're still healthy. They're still good. But I had a lot of fun cooking for people. The same way Alicia says, it makes her happy to see other people happy.
Yeah, definitely, cooking is something you can share with other people. eh, when you have people over, you can't just sit there. You're gonna get hungry. So, I mean, when you invest the time to prepare them a great meal, and I will say, for the record, Chanel makes good spaghetti. That was really good spaghetti. Um, and my daughters ate it for dinner the next day, so it wasn't just a one-time meal; it was a meal for the following day. So, and it's a hobby that takes time, it takes practice. And I'll put it this way. Let me just say, hobbies don't always have to make you happy. That might sound, what does he mean by that? Hobbies don't make you happy, so why do you do it? Because sometimes there's a benefit that you seek from it, and there's a great reward. Like, for example, exercising. Hobby, I like to walk, I like to run. Do you really like to run when you're breathing that hard and you're sweating that much? But when you're done running 5 kilometers, when you're done running 10 kilometers, how do you feel? I mean, the brothers out there and the sisters out there who exercise, they may not really enjoy it while they're doing it, but when they're done, they feel great. And I'm not a doctor, I don't have that medical certificate, but as someone who, and I'll be honest, who used to exercise a lot, that feeling of going through your routine of exercise, it releases, I don't know what it's called, like positive hormones in your body that just make you feel a lot more relaxed. And the best part about that is afterwards, you have an excuse to eat a little bit more. You can, have a bigger dinner. And what's another thing? Another hobby that may not have may not be make you happy. If you ever gone hiking, like believe Brother Kenji Libanao said, as you go hiking up a forest or you go hiking up a difficult trail, what do you see at the end? You usually see a beautiful scenic picture, or even along the way. Your legs might hurt. You might get scratches from bushes because you forgot to wear pants or you wore the wrong kinds of shoes. You may not enjoy the travel all the way there, but there was a great reward afterwards, and you take that home with you. So, I hope that kind of plants a seed in our viewers' minds that hobbies can be very uplifting, can be very positive. So let me ask Chanel again. Because our viewers, they're all sharing their hobbies in the chat. Um, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start a new uplifting hobby? Or maybe they currently have a hobby, but they want to refine it or put it to great use. What advice can you give to our viewers today about hobbies, whether they have a searching for a new hobby or they want to work on their existing?
My advice I would say is the thing about hobbies is you don't have to do it. Hobbies are something that you want to do, something that you find fun or exciting and relaxing. So once you find the hobby or the thing that you enjoy doing, just keep at it. And like I said earlier, it doesn't have to be a big undertaking. You don't have to take 5 hours out of your day just to paint, just to draw, just to read. It can be something simple, like maybe reading a webtoon or reading a comic book. It doesn't have to take a long time. If you enjoy it and you're able to find even a little bit of time throughout the day, then go for it, keep going. And the thing about hobbies too is I think it's very important that it's a healthy hobby as well, and that you find balance in how much time you exert. Because once it becomes a negative impact on your time or your life or your livelihood, it's not a hobby anymore. It's a bad habit. So just keep that in mind once you're looking for new hobbies, or if you want to keep pursuing your hobby and trying to improve on it. Find that balance and make sure it's all for your benefit and that you feel good about it.
That's great advice. That's I can't add anything to that. that really says it all. I mean, that's what our topic is: the hobbies that uplift and the positive ways to spend our free time. Time is precious. We want to make most of our time. Let me ask a final question to Alicia, because we are both very busy with our individual schedules. But what I like about media, and this is a good chance to talk about media to our viewers. When we do media, it doesn't always feel like work. It's when you deal with creative expression, it's something that if we say go down a rabbit hole, we enjoy going down that rabbit hole because we start to create a nice presentation. So what can you say about the hobby of, multimedia, whether it be your own personal projects or multimedia, let's say for the church?
So the one thing I always tell when I'm talking to all of my Benhi brothers and sisters that look up to me, and they say, "Oh, Asa, you look so stressed. Are you okay?" Um, it's happy stress. I promise, it's happy stress. Because multimedia, as much as it is sometimes a lot, it's the happy kind of that gives me endorphins. Kind of like when you uh, what we talked about working out, right? That gives us adrenaline or endorphins afterwards. That's multimedia for me personally. It's that my number one favorite hobby is multimedia. You get to do so many things, and I've been in the multimedia since the age of 10, and I've done basically everything there is. I started with being in front of the camera. Figured out I don't like being in front of the camera, but here we are again. Uh, I have done things from translating for brethren or for interviews as well, and get to expand my German skills and English skills as well in helping the church introduce our district and the and then nationalities that we have in our district, which is such an important thing because some don't realize how many nationalities that we have in the church. And it's such a great thing to learn and to meet new people. And one of my least favorite things at the beginning, but now it's one of my favorite things also because I was in Barcelona for the Europe activities, is interviewing people, just getting to know the different cultures and the different brethren around all the districts in Europe was just such a pleasure and so great meeting everyone, not even people my age, even others that range from different ages. So it's really great meeting everyone and meeting new people and getting to tell their story and to show their story to the world, how inspiring it is. It's a different kind of relief, not relief, sorry, a different kind of satisfaction, right? And it gives me so much joy to produce such content that gives joy and that shows our church and what we do in the multimedia. And sometimes that's a little bit overlooked what the multimedia does, but we are behind the project in so many things. And it just gives me more joy when we get to show everything that we work hard for. So shout out to all of our hardworking district multimedia. And since we're already talking about multimedia, I like to take the opportunity for all those in the Netherlands, especially those in Amsterdam. We are coming to you guys to do a multimedia workshop. Since multimedia is not so worldwide known for everyone, we want to show multimedia to you. All of us can be creative. All of us can do anything with the right tools. Sometimes we just don't know where to start. Right, Janelle mentioned hobbies don't always have to bring us joy, but sometimes we don't know where to start. Sometimes I have people come up to me like saying they're interested, but they don't know where to start. That's why we want to take the opportunity to visit all the locales in our district to show you how to do what you want to do, not force you into the stress that we're feeling, but to show you all the cool projects that we get to work on. My favorite things are always like working on the in cinema, being part of the movie production. That is always one of my favorites. And of course, showing the inspiring stories of our brethren here in the districts in Europe as well. So really, we want to take the opportunity to visit all of you. So comment in the live chat if we should visit you next, so that we can make it a priority to visit you as well in your locales. But yeah, hobbies, multimedia is my number one hobby. It's like work, but it's work I love to accomplish.
So yeah, I mean, Alicia said it all right there. I mean, we find happiness in the activities that we do in the church, and if multimedia and the ability to uh, create video, create pictures that inspire others. I mean, well, it's stressful. It really is for me, which is why, like, it. Uh, I do like the reward, and that's kind of why I'm here. I enjoy using media as a way to help and edify others. So whatever your hobbies will come along your way as you try to discover what you're trying to when you're trying to find a way to refresh, re-energize, and allow you to return to your priorities. Hobby is a great way, or finding a hobby is a great way of discovering yourself. And when you discover yourself and your strengths, you can use that to contribute to help others, and to uplift them. And that's part of our topic today: hobbies that uplift and the positive ways to spend our free time. So now that was a fun conversation for all of us to have, to allow us to kind of expand on how hobbies can help us and the benefits that it can provide to our daily lives and how we can connect with others. And so with that, we'd like to take our first station break. And so please stay with us as we return to INCRadio Central Europe.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesia ni Cristo.
It doesn't take something big to show love. The right and thoughtful choices made with care can make a parent smile and turn an ordinary day into something special.
Dishes done. Floors clean. I'll surprise Mom and Dad when they get here.
Wow! Hello, son.
Mom, you're early.
The house looks great.
Plus, I'm done with my assignments.
Oh, really? Oh. You always do your chores without being told. We see your effort, Carl, and we're proud of you. Here, we got you something.
What? How'd you know I want this? Thank you.
A child who brings joy to their parents is blessed even without asking. In the same way, when we live to please God, He gives us more than we could ever hope for. A reminder from Made in Australia, brought to you by INCRadio Australia Satellite Studio.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hi, Mom.
Homework?
Kind of. It's a school project, and you have to present someone from LA we admire.
Celebrity time. Who's it gonna be? Actor, athlete?
You.
Cool.
Yeah. You work hard. You help out with everything around the house. You never complain. You just do what's right, even when no one's watching.
I don't know what to say.
You don't have to. Just don't make me redo my project.
The world may celebrate stars, but the ones who shine brightest are not on screen. They're family. A message from INCRadio Los Angeles.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for staying tuned with INCRadio Central Europe. And before we continue, just wanted to take some time to read a few comments from our viewers. From Trisha Ikban, I love researching field trips to go on with my kids for their learning. Hashtag Heidelberg. And another comment from Mario Calvello, the best hobby that we should do every Sunday is our INCRadio Central Europe chat. Hashtag Berlin. I could not agree with you anymore, especially for Berlin. They're always first place, so they have a great hobby to always be able to get first place, which we will find out if they are first place later in our broadcast. Another comment from Marlon Santos, reading, researching. When you're fixated on a topic and you go down that rabbit hole, you may or may not spend a lot of time, but you will learn a lot of new things. Hashtag Heidelberg. So glad that our viewers are always participating, and this is a good hobby to have. Like Brother Mario said, to always tune into INCRadio Central Europe, always at 8 o'clock p.m. Central European Standard Time. So now let's transition into one of our favorite segments where we get to learn a little bit more of the language. Me and Chanel will definitely be listening very closely to learn German. So we will again return to Miss Malou to continue learning the Deutsch language with German is Fun.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Hello everyone, hallo zusammen. Welcome to German is Fun. Willkommen zu Deutsch macht Spaß. My name is Marilu Francisco, bringing you a fun session of basic German. For today, you will be learning German words and expressions called interjections or exclamations in English. In German, they are called Interjektionen oder Ausrufe. The singular form in German, die Interjektion or der Ausruf. These words are spontaneous expressions of feelings, situations, or reactions. For example, if someone is in pain, you would usually hear, ouch! And if you happen to have no money on you, perhaps you'll be saying, oh no! Exactly. These words are expressions called interjections. So for today, join me as we learn German interjections.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Let me say the sentence in English. Then the German equivalent, listen and repeat after me. Ouch, my tooth hurts. In German, aua or ouch. Der Zahn tut weh. Aua, der Zahn tut weh. The tooth, der Zahn. And weh tun is to cause pain. But let's just practice pronouncing weh. Remember, W in German is pronounced as V. Weh. Once again, let's have the German sentence. Aua, der Zahn tut weh. Or, ouch, der Zahn tut weh. Grandpa and Grandma are so nice, aren't they? Exactly. For Grandpa, we say Opa. For Grandma, Oma. Nice, nett. Let's have the whole sentence. For Grandpa and Grandma are so nice, aren't they? Opa und Oma sind so nett, oder? And somebody else says, genau. Exactly. Let's have the German sentences again. Opa und Oma sind so nett, oder? Genau. Our third German interjection is quite easy because it's similar to English. It is called wow. The Germans also use that expression. So look at the picture that we have on the screen. That is actually the Gord Valley in southern France. Wow, the landscape is really amazing. In German, wow, die Landschaft ist wirklich toll. Wow, die Landschaft ist wirklich toll. Repeat after me the word for landscape in German. Die Landschaft. Die Landschaft. Really? Wirklich. Wirklich. So let's have the whole sentence again. Wow, die Landschaft ist wirklich toll.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Next interjection, der nächste Ausruf. I see. You want to eat chocolates. In German, ach so. Ach so. So let's have the German sentence for I see you want to eat chocolates. Ach so, du willst Schokolade essen. Noch einmal. Ach so, du willst Schokolade essen. The last interjection for today. Oh no, I don't have any money on me. Oh nein, ich habe kein Geld dabei. Ich habe kein Geld dabei. Kein, that is not any. And Geld is money. Take note of the D at the end of the word. It is pronounced as T, Geld. And dabei, on me. Let's have the whole German expression for oh no, I don't have any money on me. Oh nein, ich habe kein Geld dabei.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
This has been today's episode of German is Fun, Deutsch macht Spaß. I'm Marilu Francisco saying Thank you for joining me. Danke, dass ihr dabei wart. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Till next time. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.
German is fun. Deutsch macht Spaß.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to INCRadio Central Europe Satellite Studio. I hope all of you are paying close attention to our German is Fun episode. I see a lot of the comments, a lot of them, everyone has favorite interjections. I see from Trisha Ikban, her favorite one is ach so. So that's a good one, Sister Trisha. A lot of you have favorite interjections, so I'm glad everyone was able to enjoy this week's episode of German is Fun. But without further ado, we have our next segment, which is See You in Action with Brother Scott Augustine.
Hello, goedenavond, goedemiddag, goedemorgen, uh, guten Abend, schönen Tag, and guten Morgen. We welcome you to the CFO in Action. Beloved brethren and our guests, we would like to share with you the activity that took place there in the local congregation of Heidelberg, Germany, the efforts of our brethren in the unity of having the CFO Day. I would like to acknowledge the brethren who united in this kind of activity, led by their resident minister. In activities like this is where the brethren express their not only their talent with one another, but their unity as brethren in that part of the world. And as we all know, the area Heidelberg could be famous worldwide. A lot of history, a lot of in regards to education. It is very important that not only are we uh, well aware of the area, but knowing that the brethren there in the local congregation of Heidelberg continues to support the church activities as the CFO that had happened. And in preparation for this week, once again, brethren here in the District of Central Europe will continue to unite the church administration in the activity CFO Cares. Thus, we know and we hope and pray that our brethren will unite in this endeavor and in your clusters with your CFO officers, we may all unite and make this activity successful for our brethren. Sister Alicia, Brother Henry, and Sister Chanel.
Brother
Thank you
Scott,
so much.
while we have you here, let me ask you this question. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do, Brother Scott?
Well, uniquely, I'm really into classical music. I like playing the trumpet. I have had experience in playing in a professional band, and also when I was also in high school or in also in grade school. Uh, yeah, I'm really into classical music and playing music. Brother Henry?
That is a great hobby. I do like Hawaiian music. I'm sure you do too. Music is, music keeps the mind active. We all love to listen to music. And speaking of active, we now need to find out who are the three most active clusters in our chat. So let's see who are the top three clusters from last week. Let's find out from Kuya Tech.
Third place, Hamburg Cluster. Second place, Heidelberg Cluster. First place, Berlin Cluster.
Congratulations once again to Berlin Cluster for your hobby. It is your great hobby to always participate in our INC Radio Central Europe, and that's why you are number one. Heidelberg, we'll try again. We'll do our best. Maybe next week we'll get it. We always occasionally do come back. So we've come to that point of our show, our broadcast, where we will take a little bit of time to do some shout outs. So let's start with Chanel. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to the local of Frankfurt City, to Kajeri and Kaema, and all of our friends and families within the locale. Let's try to make it in the next top 3 clusters for next week. We'll get there. And also shout out to INCRadio Central Europe. Thank you so much for having me. It was such an awesome show. Thank you again.
And thank you for bringing your mustard yellow coat. It's always fun to see you here. We can always make a lot of references to past conversations because these conversations do plant a good seed in our minds. It's something to return to because it's always a good conversation. Brother Scott, is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Yes, I would like to give a shout out to our brethren in the local congregation of Amsterdam, also in Dordrecht, in supporting the Household Evangelical Mission. And we are already preparing for this coming week. And we hope our brethren here in the Central Europe District will unite in the endeavor of bearing fruits. But Henry.
And so I guess I'll do my shout outs. Shout out to my wife and children who are always downstairs watching as I'm co-hosting our INCRadio Central Europe broadcast. Shout out to a special shout out. I'll give this special shout out to the Ickbon family. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Oh, I gotta pause. Okay. The Ickbon family, you have a very close place to my heart. I'm happy to have met you. They'll still be here. They're not leaving yet. But I'll dedicate my shout out time to Brother Mark and Sister Trisha and family. Alicia, your turn before I get emotional.
Oh man, you're making me emotional, Henry. Mine as well. Shout out to the Ickbon family, especially Brother Mark and Sister Trisha, and of course the kids. I love those kids with all my heart. So fast how time goes by, but we can't avoid it. But shout out, of course, to the rest of our Heidelberg cluster for always being number 2 in the top tier clusters. Shout out also to Sister Jana for celebrating her birthday. Happy birthday again. And shout out also to my family who's watching as well, right next door. Henry, who else are we shouting outing? Shout out tonight.
All right, so shout out to first shout out to our panel, which our panel was Sister Chanel. So thank you for joining us. Shout out to all of our viewers and listeners who always tune into INCRadio Central Europe. Special thanks to our district CFO advisor, Brother Scott Augustine. Thanks to our assistant district minister, Brother Jake Edick. And thank you to our district minister, Brother Joel B. Catalan.
Thank you, of course, to our INC Media Productions Chief, Brother Montreval Boy, and thank you to our INC Radio Station Manager, Brother Wally Taday. Thank you, of course, to our CFO Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angelo Aranio Manalo. And most importantly, thank you to the church administration and our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo B. Manalo. This has been so fun. Thank you again for all watching and listening to INCRadio Central Europe Studio. We'll see you again next week. Bye.